I want to talk about something. The difference between free weights and machines. Now, some of y'all's done got a little feisty. So we're going to go ahead and set the record straight because this is exhausting. Free weights are better than machines when it comes to functional strength, stability, and more carryover when it comes to athletics, for the most part. Machines are great because they're very versatile. They help you focus on an isolated area, a muscle group, or just even a muscle. You can try new lines, pull, different attachment. You can trigger different cues due to the attachments. Like, they're absolutely amazing. Love utilizing machines. However, I don't prioritize machines. People that I work with, and even myself, I prefer free weights or some sort of calisthenic base that's not with a single line of pull, something that's going to be very unpredictable, little reactive. Because I want more of a carryover into everyday life or some sort of sport-specific athletic training, or just in general, maybe there's an activity that I really enjoy doing or my clients really enjoy doing that I want to prepare them for, and doing a machine-based row is not going to get them ready. Which drives me into the second point, is free weights and other stuff that's not based or stuck onto a machine is better in the sense that it will have a carryover. Let's say you enjoy mountain biking. Now, if you're sitting there doing a leg press or leg curls or leg extensions, that's not really going to help you. So the idea of just strengthening your legs and then it having some substantial carryover to something specific as that, which again, I know I've been giving poor examples. I'm very tired. That's where something more specific and non-machine based will help more. Then again, you can also just get a Peloton bike or some other variation of a bike and increase the intensity to kind of mimic going up and down the mountainous terrain and progressively overload it that way. However, what do you do on other days where you're not specifically training just for that and still get a really decent carryover? How do you address weak points when you're trying to do something besides just addressing more cues and feel it here, push it here? If you look at CrossFit athletes, a lot of times, look at the majority of their exercises and events. It's free weights, calisthenics, different sort of conditioning. Powerlifting competitions, it has a place for machine-based work to help you overload and get more volume and strength on a muscle. But again, we start with free weights. Same for football, soccer, baseball, tennis, swimming. And again, you utilize machines for some accessory work as you go along. But for a functional carryover, especially to athletics and other sport, whatever we're trying to accomplish outside of just like, my muscle is getting bigger, the utilization of free weights is phenomenal. It's preferred. You start with that because it's harder. You don't do a whole bunch of machine stuff and then go to free weights and try to push yourself thin, because you'll fail, you'll fall over, you'll drop something, your form will look awful. And again, all this depends on your goal, your intention, your level, injury history, stuff like that. Whatever we're looking at, it all heavily depends on what's the purpose, what's the drive, what's the mission here, what are we trying to accomplish, which each individual workout, what are we hoping to get away from this, so on and so forth. And I'll go ahead and admit right now, I have not read enough case studies and meta-analysis to reference them and be that really, really smart person. However, I have enough experience with clients and mentors and other trainers that I do understand that, again, depending on specific variables, free weights always win. In that general sense of starting out initially with intention. Some people need to start on machines just for basic strength training because they don't have enough control of the capability to do free weights, even if you find a way to assist them with free weights or just body weight. And so we have to very specifically utilize machines to strengthen up certain muscles and then start incorporating very regressed versions for exercises for stability, like a single leg balance instead of being on a Bosu ball or a balance foam pad or a balance disc or reactive disc, whatever they call them now. So again, just to kind of wrap this up, because I keep ranting and giving different examples and different perspectives on everything, which I completely understand. Both have their purpose. However, the majority of the time when it comes to a functional carryover for strength, stability, regular day movement, even when it comes to corrective exercise and dealing with lower back pain, shoulder pain, hip, knee, whatever, it's going to be free weights. It's going to be free movement, body weight, modalities, whether yoga based, where you're going through poses and isometrically holding them, or you're using weights and you're doing like a bear complex, or you're doing like a military press versus doing a Viking press sitting down on a machine. Night and day difference. There's so much to talk about. I'd love to hear more responses on this, so I have more stuff to touch on specifically, because there's so many different directions I can go with this. There's so many different things I could say. And I mean, I've been doing this for 5.5 minutes, and I feel like I'm just now like starting to plant some like small seeds to be able to start talking on some of these topics. But more specific, the better. So if you guys know of something specific that you want to dive more into about the science or the idea behind it, let me know. And for those who just say that there's no evidence or anything that free weights have a better carryover than machines, you're not wrong, but it depends on the perspective that you're taking for which goal and ideal that they're trying to achieve with whatever study or analysis that they're trying to do. So anyway, I'm saying all of this to clarify my little oopsie whoopsie of just saying free weights are always better than machines. Y'all took it too serious. So let me know.